another glam. Now today we're going to do a soft glam, and let's talk about how life has been as a follower of Christ since I got baptized.
God did it. God did it. Let me tell you what happens when you let it go. Blessings on blessings.
Okay, so today we're going to be first using our Neutrogena makeup remover wipe, because I just want to clean my face to make sure my face is clean. If I can get it open. And you really just want to wipe your face, you know, first before you put anything, you know, on your face with makeup. You want to make sure your face is clean. If that's either washing your face beforehand or just putting something on your face to make sure your face is clean before you put any product on your face, because you don't want your face oily as well. Because if your face is oily when you put on makeup, it's not gonna look too well. So the next things I'm gonna go into will be my e.l.f. moisturizer that I use always, and then my next one is gonna be the e.l.f. matte primer. My favorite two things to get. So guys, let me tell you. So I got baptized last year. That was August 17th, 2025. And I got baptized at 2819. If everybody knows, like, if you are a follower of Christ, most people know the church 2819 because it's pretty popular. It's changed my life. Like, I was already a follower of Christ before, but I really wanted to get baptized because I was now putting in the work as a follower of Christ. As I got older, I decided, okay, now I'm doing the Lord's work. Now I want to rededicate my life to the Lord for sure. And so that was my decision in August. And ever since then, it has tremendously changed the way I think, the way I move. Just making it a lifestyle to really just be on fire for Jesus. I'm going to definitely go in with my foundation, which is the 338. I think that's backwards. The 338. I don't know if you can see it, but 338 in spicy brown fit me. So what I do, I go in with my foundation brush, and I use, this is just a regular foundation brush, but then we're going to just pour it on top of the foundation. So right now, I just put my foundation, it's just the bottom half of my face. After I got baptized, just a lot started happening. I started being attacked a lot by the enemy, like in my dreams, because I dream a lot. So basically, like in my dreams, God comes to me a lot in my dreams, and he shows me things before they come like to pass. And so how I realized God comes to me in my dreams, to when I started realizing, telling people about my dreams, and they would actually happen after that. And that can be kind of like a scary thing, because it's almost like I never know what I'm gonna dream about, but I have to be prepared what God shows me. After I got baptized, I created a prayer closet. And that prayer closet, like, as a follower of Christ, I feel like everyone should have a prayer closet or have a place to where you're going, you know, giving the time to God, like giving the Lord your time. And so I definitely feel like that's definitely very important. Since I've been in my walk with Christ, I have talked to so many people about, you know, Jesus and who he was. And after I got baptized, I literally started to see, I never really read my Bible as much as I should. And so when I got baptized and I started being attacked by the enemy, like in my dreams and in different places, I'm like, okay, yeah, the enemy knows that I'm really walking in Christ now. So everywhere we go, you can be attacked, right? But no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So if I know those things, it's like, okay, I need to open up my book and start reading, because it's no way I can go to church and listen to a sermon and not open up my Bible and read. And so once I started doing that, it literally changed everything, and how I thought and how I moved. But before we get to that, I actually want to show what I do right after I do my foundation. So I normally go in with my curve case, and that is my contour. And I use this shade right here, if anybody can see. That's called this name right here that I never can pronounce, Viviish, something like that. So I'm going to go in with this light brown right here. And so I normally take a little dab, just like this. And you want to get the line of this angle right here, right on that cheekbone. And mine is very natural. Like, I don't like a hard, you know, a hard contour look. So I do this right here in this placement. And then you want to go up with your contour. And you want to take that all the way up on your forehead. And so this gives like a tan. If you can kind of see, it's already giving that light tan look. And that's what you want when you're doing your contour. Now, this is for the light girlies. It's never really like too heavy, but it's very still noticeable. So that's what I wanted to give you guys today. Just a natural glam look. So after I started reading my Bible, I noticed, okay, now I know I need community. Because you can't follow Christ alone. Like, it's no way you can do it by yourself. Like, so I kind of started meeting people at 2819. But now I haven't met too many people. But I did get close to one person at 2019. And they really did help me, like, read the Bible more. And just stay on my journey with following Christ. What I learned about reading is I have paused so many times and reading. Like, I was just so amazed who Jesus was. So when I started reading Matthew. Matthew was the first book I read out of the Bible. And the reason why I started reading Matthew was because I wanted to learn more about Jesus. That was my goal. We always have our different goals of what we want to do when we open up the Bible. I mean, you should have a goal what you want to learn when you start reading. You can start from the beginning. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I wanted to know who Jesus was and the things that he has done. And so that was something that was definitely a priority for me. And so next I'm going in with my e.l.f. And this is the blush. My e.l.f. Camo blush. e.l.f. Camo liquid blush. If you can see that right here. And so now I'm just going to literally put just 3 dots. I'm not a blush girly. We're gonna, you know, still put enough blush on to where it can be seen. I normally take this brush. So that is the blush brush as well. And it's a soft bristle brush. And so what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna pat in these areas. And I'm just gonna really just take that blush and just drag that all the way around my face at the top right half of my face. So your blush is spread out evenly and it doesn't look cakey or anything like that. And I'm just going to go over and do this side as well. Same technique. And then we're actually going to contour my nose after I put my concealer on. Because I don't want it to mess up my concealer when I'm doing my I don't want it to mess up my nose as I'm doing my concealer. So I think that's going to be enough blush for me because, again, I want this to be a natural glam. I don't want it to be too much, but I definitely want it to be noticeable. So when I started reading Matthew, I started realizing so much things about Jesus. The things that I have noticed about Jesus was who he was in Matthew, the miracles he did in Matthew, his character in Matthew, his posture in Matthew. Like, Matthew was literally like the leading book for sure. And if you ever want to know about Jesus, start in Matthew, period. And so next what I want to do is I want to go in with my concealers. So I use the Tan Sand Deep Warm underneath my eye. And then I use the Deep Sand underneath my over my eyebrow, sorry. And then I use Tan Sand Deep at the top of my eyebrow. So now I'm going to take the Tan Sandy Warm for underneath my eye. And then I love this highlight, which is in Cookie with Too Faced, that I normally use. And so I'm just going to put these places right here with the Tan Sandy Warm. And y'all, I don't have any lashes on, and I'm probably gonna go put some lashes on. But last time I did my lashes, but this time I don't have any on, so I'll probably put some on last. Now I normally blend out with my beauty blender, which I love, and I just pat just like this, and then I pat up here, and then I pat in these areas, and you want to make sure you get all of these areas. And then after this, I will go in with, you know, my contour. And then we'll go in with the eyeshadow. But again, we're just doing a light eyeshadow today. Just very, very natural look. A very, very clean, natural look. That's what we want. And so learning about Jesus, and I know I want to do both. I want to teach y'all about my makeup routine, and I also want to talk about Jesus as well, because he's such the head of my life. And one scripture that stuck out to me about Jesus was Matthew 11:28, and that is, "Come to me all who are weary, and I will give you rest." And the reason I love that so much is because Jesus gives us rest in anything. Every time I'm feeling worried, I always think about that scripture. Like, I know he'll give me rest on what I'm anxious about, or I want the things that I want to happen in my life at the moment where they just not happening. Like, Jesus always gives me rest when I go back and read, or I go back and think about that scripture. So when you're reading, you want to make sure you're taking notes and taking scriptures down that you're going to remember. Because that's something that I'm still working on, trying to remember scriptures as I'm reading. But you want to make sure you write those scriptures down, the scriptures that stick out to you when you're reading. So we're going to take this cookie right now, and we're going to put this on just the corners of the eye. Just like this. I'm not doing too much today because normally I go in like with 3 concealers. And after this, we're going to go in with our powder to blur out this concealer. We're going to go in with my powder with Huda Beauty that I love the most, my banana bread, and we're just gonna take a little bit like this. And again, you want to make sure that you put on your beauty blender, you want to make sure that it's flat all the way out. I like to just put it on my hand just like this, and I like to go in and I like to pat just like this, and I crease a lot under my eye. So you just want to pat in this way. And you don't have to pat so heavy, just kind of pat lightly to get that look. But you see how, okay, one side it's like blurry a little bit, and then the other side is more oily. That's what happens when you put the powder. That's what the powder is for. It's there to set your makeup so it won't move. And so we're just going to go in on the other side as well. I want you guys to leave in the comments, what was it like if you are a follower of Christ and after you got baptized? What was it like? Because I remember, you know, for me, it was about the Lord started making me do the work immediately. I was once being attacked, but I was 2 becoming an intercessor. When I built my prayer closet, and this is the thing, after I got baptized, I got prophesied to that, you know, I was going to build a prayer closet and I was going to be able to go deeper into prayer. And when I tell you, that's exactly what happened to me. Like, I built my prayer closet, and it was the best thing that could ever. When I built my prayer closet, it literally changed the woman who I was, the wisdom that I have now, and this just literally how I move, my lifestyle. My lifestyle is not the same where I was before when I was in and out of the world. And so I created community around me. My closest friends, we get to talk about Jesus and talk, and talk about who he was and just apply it to our daily lives. Because you have to think about it. When you become a follower of Christ, you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You can't be a follower of Christ and live in sin, because you're definitely going to feel convicted of the things you do. So I just want to know, like, below, like, how was it when y'all got baptized, or when y'all became a follower of Christ? Like, how has it been for you, since you've been on this journey? Because for me, I'm still learning a lot of things, but I'm okay with saying I'm growing, I'm learning, and I'm taking it day by day. And I've been had this forever. So this is the Morphe 3503 palette. I don't even think they sell this anymore, but I definitely still want to use this on my eyes because this is my go-to. So today, the only eyeshadow I'm going to use is going to be this one right here. This is my main brush that I always use. It's a Morphe brush. I can't remember the numbers, but again, I'm going to take this color right there and I'm just going to put it over my eyes. And like, since it's natural, not trying to like, put concealer over my eyes or anything like that, since it's just a natural look. And as you can see, you kind of already seeing that color, just period. And this is the only color that I'm actually going to use today. And after I do my eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with my contour, and then I'm going to do my eyebrows. And this time I'm actually going to put concealer over my eyebrows. Okay, now we have our natural, just one eyeshadow look. So sometimes when you do natural glam, you don't need a whole bunch of eyeshadow. You can if you want to, but for me, I just did a little natural look, like over my eye. I didn't even put concealer on there. And that should show you how pigmented this eyeshadow is. The one thing that I learned, you like giving yourself grace and just being patient and waiting on the Lord and surrendering. Like, that's one of the things that I really, really had to realize. Next, I want to go in with, again, my concealer. And next, I'm going to go in my concealer, and I'm going to do the Tan Sand Deep underneath my eyes. I take my flat brush, and I do it just like this. I normally take my flat brush. And so I'm literally just going to go underneath my eyebrow. Underneath, and again, we're just doing a natural look today, so sometimes you can kind of fill in your eyebrow just a little bit, but not a lot. And so especially if you're doing like a natural look, and so that's just basically like what I'm going for. I go in with this brush, and this is the Morphe E30 brush. I don't know if they still have this brush, but this is just gonna blend out, and it's gonna still like give me that light, that light look at the top of my eyebrow, but just not, too much. Cause again, you're just arching out, and sometimes you might have to, you're just arching out your eyebrow. And I probably will go back in with my my eyeshadow just a little bit to fill, those areas in. What I like to do is take back my eyeshadow brush if I'm doing a natural look and just go back through it to kind of blend it out and blend that look in just like that. Just like that. And that way. And then next, I'm gonna go, since we're doing a natural look, I'm gonna go in and just do hair strokes. Not even nothing. This is why I say it's important to kind of get your eyebrows wet so you won't have to deal with the extra hairs. But I literally just go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills right here, and the dip, in the Ebony Brow Wiz. It's a precision brow wiz brush, and so it really just get those hairs directly. Now I'm gonna go in with the deep sand, at the top, so it won't be so light, because you don't want it to be too light at the top of your eyebrow. So I want to just take a little bit of that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I just like to do half of my eyebrow, like right about here a little bit. And then we're just going to go all the way down, just that way. And you see, it's just a natural arch. And what I want to take is my beauty blending brush again. And I want to go all the way down. I think nobody really talks about the struggles that we go through being obedient. I think that's the main thing. Like, people don't really talk about how hard it is. I remember in my younger days, like, you know, I would hear people say, oh, you know, it's so easy. And, you know, all you do is have to do this and, you know, stay. But when you have things to start coming against you and your flesh want things, and you have to learn how to be obedient and not commit those things and do those things. That's where the hard part comes in, because now you have to go back and read and open up your Bible and go back deep into prayer, so you won't make sure you commit those things. Because being a follower of Christ, one thing I've learned, it don't matter if you still commit those things or not, you're gonna feel convicted. If you don't have no conviction in your heart, that's a problem. Like, that's a problem if you don't have no conviction in your heart. As a follower of Christ, like, if you're just still living in sin, it's just no way you can do both. And that's why I said, choose who you want to follow. Seriously. You know, and sometimes we say we're going to do these things and we never do them. But please, like, if you really want to be obedient to the Lord, follow him. I'm telling you, it's the best decision. It comes with a cost, but it's the best decision ever. My blending brush, because now I want to make sure that, you know, that little area where it was light, I want to make sure that that's blended out, because that's my goal anyways. And so now we're going to do the other side of my eyebrow. You want to go back in and you want to go up just like that. And this is why I love this brow gel by Essence. Take your eyebrow and you really just going to like blend. This can take time to blend and still look good. And again, once I've blended this out, I'll go back in with my eyeshadow, because I've just been trying to try new techniques and new natural ways. Even if I go ahead and do my eyeshadow first or do my eyebrows last, but I still like my eyebrows to have that arch. The natural look, I can do my eyebrows after I do my makeup. That's really what's important when it comes to the eyebrow. So I'll go back in with my, and sometimes I might have to take, sometimes I don't have to take anything because it still be a lot on here. And then I'm going to go at the top of my eyebrow with the deep sand. So sorry, y'all, I said the wrong thing. It's tan sand deep underneath, and then we're going in with deep sand. And you kind of want to just kind of like blend that out. And so that's too why I like to, you know, go back in with that after I do my eyebrow. Okay. I like to draw my strokes afterwards. So as you see, I drew my strokes, and then we're going to go in with deep sand this time. Yeah. And then we're going to put, let's see, I'm going to dab a little bit of it off because that can be a lot. And so now we're going to go in on this side, like almost half of the eyebrow. And you're definitely just going to follow that eyebrow line and go all the way down, just like that. And so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend out. Everybody has a different preference how they want to do their eyebrows. I actually used to do my eyebrows before I even did my makeup. Sometimes you might still have to go in and do a little extra draw if you want to. And then I go in over here and do an extra little draw if I want to. I'm gonna go back in with this because again, I crease a lot. I definitely do crease a lot. So I'm gonna go back in with my this right here. And just go back underneath just a little bit. Because again, I do crease. Now I'm going to go in with my curve case once again. And I'm going to go back in with the same color that I did before. I'm going to contour my nose this time. So I take my Morphe M173 brush. It's a concealer brush. But I use this for my nose because to me, it like really gets the nose. So I go in just like this. And I go in up beneath the eyebrow. And I just bring it and drag it down just in this way. Just like that. And I do the other side in the same way. And I drag it down just like that. And I go underneath the eyebrow. And I'm going to take my MAC Fix Powder Plus Foundation. And I just go underneath my eye with it. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. And I just dab it a little bit like this. And I just literally go underneath. It just really helps me and gives me that secure crease that I know won't happen. Like if I'm out all day. I remember when I was younger and people used to tell me that they live for Christ and it's like a lifestyle. And I used to always try to figure out, like, what do you mean? What is a lifestyle when it comes to living for Christ and living for the Lord? And I'm starting to realize like what that comes with because I started to do it. That's reading my Bible. That's being in my prayer closet. That's having those vulnerable talks. That's in the car. That's at work. That's listening to music. That's not, as secular. That's listening to gospel or listening to Christian podcasts. So now I'm going to go in with the Nubian blush palette. I don't think they sell this black blush palette no more. It's the Saharian Blush Volume 1 palette, and it has my favorite colors in it. I normally use this pink blush, so I'm gonna go back in with that pink blush, but I'm just gonna do it a little bit. So I normally dab because I don't like so much, and again, we just doing that. I don't like too much, especially if I'm doing a natural look. I don't like too much, so this is good right here. After that, I want to do my lashes. So I normally go in with the strip lash adhesive. And then I'm going to take some lashes that I've already had. And I'm going to put them on my lash. And I want to make sure that this lash works. I mean, that it's long, but it's good enough. And I like to blow it off. But yeah, nobody really talks about what it is to be a follower of Christ and how much, the things we sacrifice, to really be closer to him and to be obedient. And I want to say that for another video of how I've been in my obedience, with Christ ever since I got baptized. Like, I swear people don't just talk about those things, like the things that we struggle with the most. And so I just really want to talk about today the surface of how my life has really changed since, I've got baptized. It will be a year in August of this year. So it's so crazy how time goes by. So now I'm going to put this lash on my eye. All right. And so now we're going to do the next one. All right. So now we got our lashes on. And now we're going to go in with our mascara. And this is the Morphe mascara. And I love this mascara. And so we're just going to go underneath just like this. Just a little bit. With the mascara. Try not to get it underneath. Try not to get it underneath your eyes. Because when it comes to mascara, it's so tricky trying to do it and not get the mascara like on your eyes. All right, and see, now we have that. And And then I always go with my Revolution highlighter reloaded, if y'all can see that. And I just want to take my fan brush. You can pretty much get any fan brush, and you'll just do it in this way right here. You're gonna take a little bit over your nose, just like that, and underneath. And I have to go get my... Okay, so we know that I love my Moray. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I never do. Let me see. Can we see it? Everybody knows I love this. It comes on like a crayon. And the shade... This is in the shade... I don't know what shade... Did I say the shade last time? Cocoa. This is in the shade Cocoa. And then you have my MAC lipstick in the shade Viva Planet. And then you have my Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is in Cotton Candy in the lip gloss. See her? She's so beautiful. And so now I want to go in with my liner. And I'm just going to line my lips just like that. And it goes on like butter, y'all. I'm telling you, every single time. Goes on like butter. Just like that. And this is for all of my girlies that early on, that just that natural look. Like, it's noticeable that you got some makeup on, but it's just not too much at all. And then you're gonna go in at this, my lipstick, and blot a little bit. And go in again. Just like that. And then I'm gonna go in with the lip gloss. And you're gonna go all the way around on the outlines of your lips, because that give it like almost like that 3D look. I'm so glad I can talk to y'all today, just, you know, really about just like how my journey's been so far, and just like the surface. But I want to get more into it as I do more makeup videos, because I just want y'all to be a part of my lifestyle and just a part of my life. That's why I'm on here, to also be motivating, but also knowing to do my makeup as well. So that's the story that I want to put out there. That's what I want people to know me as and know me for. Just a follower of Christ, and just a woman of God. And I'm just so about that, y'all. I'm so about that. The last thing I want to do is literally do one size, the one size setting spray at the end. So I like to spray a little bit. Okay. And we're all set. And I love to take my hair down when I'm done. Yes, let's get into it.